Welcome everyone to Ask Hypnotica 43. It's been a while since I've done these, but I'm going to tell you the reason why I got my ass handed to me. All right, putting together this new program, Modern Day Sexual Man. It's 23 years of my knowledge that basically took me a hell of a lot of time to organize, to get the ideas together. It literally kicked my ass. And then while doing it, I'm like, you know what would be really cool if I add this Sexual Mastery 7 meditation thing. I decided to add that into it. And then I decided, you know what would be even cooler if I did this Ultimate Man where I started giving advice to mass amounts of guys. So it literally kicked my ass. I got way in over my head and I basically went off course. And I just want to talk a little bit about this before we get into the actual question, because there's going to be times in your life, listen, like I've broken some barriers as far as what I consider society's used to. And sometimes when you're breaking that open, okay, you're going against the grain for the most part, life is going to hammer you down sometimes, okay? And it could be like everything's coming at you. And trust me, I had relationship stuff going on. I had money stuff going on. I had food stuff going on. I fell out of my routine. When you're dedicated to something, sometimes sacrifices need to be made. And you kind of look at it like, okay, am I supposed to put this out? Am I not supposed to put this out because I'm getting beat down? Remember, if you feel it, and it's worth it, you got to put it out. It's not going to be the easiest thing you do, but like right now, I'm like feeling pretty good because we released the Modern Day Sexual Man yesterday, and so I'm starting to feel like, okay, man, it's starting to settle down. I'm not like running around doing videos and things like this all the time. It's a nice idea to just chill. So understand that nothing's going to come easy, and like this one beat me down, okay? But hey, we're talking about a new taboo subject the way I'm talking about it and talking about some pretty cool things. So sometimes, like I said, the universe is going to be like, let's grind them out a little bit, right? And so that's where I've been. And by the way, it's a great program. Let's get into the actual question. It says, hey, I just finished the bonus talk that you did on Serbia. So if you want to see a bonus talk, I talked 2 hours on sex in Serbia. You can go to the link that I'm going to put down below. Anyways, he's talking about that I mentioned that I like to build women up. He said, is this a topic that you can go into the new course? If not, would you cover it in Ask Hypnotica? So here I am. When I talk about building women up, okay, and it's really weird, man, because like I was in a very unique situation. I mean, 23 years of running a strip club. Trust me, you can't imagine some of the nights that I've seen, all right? There's been some very interesting moments of my life. But what I'm talking about this is there are some fucking straight dicks out there as guys, okay? Straight misogynistic ass fucks that are they're just sorry to call themselves men. Like I said, I wouldn't call them men. I just call them little boys that have bad attitudes, all right, that are hurt by mommy or daddy or someone in their life, all right? But they say some pretty fucked up shit. So being a manager in these situations, like sometimes like girls will come out and gotta be like, you're too fat, you're too this, you're too that, look at your tits are too. They say some fucked up shit, pisses me off, and they get out of the club. But you know, one of the things is you have to do is you have to build a woman back up quickly. And a lot of guys don't like to build up women because then they like to be like, I'm better than her, and so she's like chasing after me. This is like mediocre stupid shit. All right, this is like lower level thinking. When I'm talking about building up a woman, when she comes at me, and trust me, I've had this plenty of times, they bust into the office and they're crying, and I'm like, stop, boom, instantly break their fucking pattern. All right, and you're just like, look at you, you're a sexy mom, and you have to feel it. If you're gonna be a powerful man who appreciates women, sometimes you're gonna have to like build them up, and that's a lot of times sometimes, all right? So I'm just saying, what he's talking about here is he's talking about building them up. It's basically giving them confidence. Now, I'm going to touch on this a little bit. It's one of those weird kind of issues. A lot of guys, like I said, don't like building a woman up because then they like to be in that power position and where the woman's chasing them around. And that's just a kind of a weak point of view. It's not coming from a masculine strength point of view. It's coming from like, I need to keep her down so it makes me look better. All right. And if you're talking masculinity, weak ass stuff. All right. There ain't no masculinity there. You see, true masculinity is not fearful of the feminine. A masculine man has no fear of the feminine. A masculine man is just masculine, grounded. He's not trying to compete. He's not trying to validate. He's not trying to do anything. The masculine leads the way. The feminine follows. I kind of think about it like this, all right? And sexist or whatever you want to say, think of the masculine as a great white shark just moving through the ocean. And the feminine is like those little fishies on the side, okay? They're there to support. They're there to do their own little thing. But that's how I look at it. Like the masculine's grounded. And another kind of way I look at masculine feminine is, think of an atom, okay? The masculine is the masculine. It's what the females revolve around, okay? And there's lots of females that need that male grounded masculine to come back to, or they just kind of get confused and they kind of lose focus and they just kind of do their thing, okay? Females, for the most part, need the masculine there to ground them. Men, masculine, like the feminine to soften us, to make us human, for the most part, all right? So these are a couple things I just want to talk about as far as we're moving in a certain direction to build women up higher, all right? True masculinity is like looking a woman directly in her eye and making her feel loved, making her feel supported, making her feel like it's okay that she can get on, because a lot of women get beat down too. I know a lot of guys don't think that, and trust me, I know that there's a lot of girls out there that are just kind of gross at what they're doing. Photos this and selfies this and all that thing. It's a weird time right now that we're going through. But I think it's really bringing out a lot of good issues that people are working on. So when I'm building them up, it could be in the bedroom, whereas let's just say I did one of my little techniques on them and they're flopping around on the bed and they're trying to breathe and they're in a other than normal state of consciousness, all right? Well, this is a very prime time to do very cool things where you can sit down, you can just say, like, you're sexy, like, breathe it in, like, it's okay. Like, build up their femininity, okay? And the more you can build up their femininity and the more that you can just let them relax in your masculine presence, being safe and being secure in your presence, it's just a very, very powerful thing, because you're not doing it out of fear. You're doing it out of strength. Like, you are the rock in their life, okay? The rock of Gibraltar. You're just there, all right? And women love to feel grounded and tucked up next to a strong masculine man, because they're not really used to it. They're used to needy ass guys. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but there's a lot of needy ass guys that try to put women down, or they're needy and they're like, I need you to make me feel validated. And they're taking photos with them on Facebook. Like, look at me with 3 chicks. I'm amazing. No, you're not really, dude. Okay. Like, a real dude, a real man doesn't need to take photos like that. A real man is just like, I do my own thing, okay? And you women usually follow because they see that strength. I don't chase. Don't chase, okay? You can be interested, you can be curious, but don't chase. Especially even if you have a breakup, don't chase. Just, hey man, go your own way, all right? If they're smart, they'll figure it out. If not, no big deal. Move on, okay? So that's the reason I'm talking about this, building women up. And here's another weird thing is like feminism, all right? Okay, I'm all for women, having their own say in things. Okay, but when they start to encroach upon the masculine, saying, hey, what I look over there, I shouldn't be doing that. Okay, that's the time when fuck off comes to mind, all right? You got to understand, because I've seen this happen plenty of times. Women, they get a little attention, and there's a lot of apps out there that women get lots of attention, like Tinder or Facebook or Instagram, and they're all over it. They're like loving it. They're giving themselves selfies and all this shit. I think that's kind of a little bit of a mental, it's kind of like, remember the guys, I don't know if you remember, but they used to roll their sleeves all the way up to here and things like this. It's kind of an insecurity, the way I look at it. And I even clowned one of the girls that I was with just the other day, because she kept on doing her Facebook. I'm like, how much validation do you need? Like, I mean, how many times can people look at you and go, amazing? All right, and that's because but that's a form of building them up too, because I'm like, look, you don't need to take a photo every 5 minutes for someone to think that you're okay or cool. If you're cool, you're cool, right? It says enough, all right? People will come to you because of that. You don't need to like show them every 5 minutes, okay? So building them up sometimes is breaking them down, because sometimes you see that where they're at and you're like, that's not really a useful place to be. And I don't bullshit at all, okay? Like when women come to me, like one of the reasons why women always would come to me to give advice when I was working the club, because I would tell them the brutal ass truth. They'd come in and they'd ask, what about this outfit? And I'd say, no, it doesn't match, okay? You don't do this with this, or hey, I've told plenty of girls, hey, she'd come up to me and go, hey, Eric, can I take a break? And I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, you're here to make money, and you smell like a cigarette, okay? Your breath smells like a cigarette, and your hair smells like a cigarette. I'm like, are you here to make money? Or are you here to, like, smell like a smoke farm, all right? That's a form of breaking them down, getting them back to what's important, right? So being truthful is very powerful, and it can be one of those things where lots of people think you're an asshole because you're just telling the truth, okay? Truth speaker usually isn't the most popular person, but he can either be the most hated and the most loved at the same time. So going back to this building women up. So just remember, what's your intention? If your intention, and you got to look at it spiritually, all right? You can't do it from a physical point of view. Like, you have to be in that spiritual realm about, okay, what's in it? What's the best interest for everyone here, okay? Like if I can give advice, and you almost have to go into a God point, like if I could just get neutral and give this person advice of what's best for them, okay, in the mentality, the physical, the mental, the whole thing, what advice would I give? And boom, you got to bring it hard, okay? Women are going to respect you a lot more for being able to build them up and give them the truth than some guy who's just blowing smoke up their ass looking for fairy dust. There's no fairy dust up there, all right? So, like I said, I just wanted to kind of actually get back into this a little bit because I was beat down. I was off the kilter for a while. So I just want to get back rolling again, getting used to talking to this camera. But those are the things I'm talking about. If you have any more questions on it, let me know. Bottom line is this. If you're going to build them up, build them up that they feel loved, that they feel validated, but build it up from a way that they don't need external validation to feel that. Build it up upon who they are as a human being, a spiritual human being, okay? One of humans that we're a part of on this planet or in this universe as just a true person. If you're trying to get something out of it, then you're not really building them up. You're just kind of manipulating them. So hopefully that helps, and we'll talk soon. And if you haven't checked out Modern Day Sexual Man, check out the link below. It's freaking awesome, and you're going to learn a lot.